What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another one. Today I'm out here on the ET Max doing some speed runs on this thing, and I found this section of road right here that just was incredible for just going as hard as you possibly can on this wheel. See, I went to the end of it right there, got some cars coming this way, so I wanted to get in front of them so I wouldn't have to pass them. So I was able to go down this road. See, I got a clear shot, and I'm about to just give it the beans right now. And this wheel is a absolute rocket ship, guys. I'm telling you, this thing is wild. So the ET Max, what makes this wheel special and what makes this thing just the top specs right now, it's 68 or 168 volts, guys. The Blitz that's going to be coming out next is going to be 134 volts, and then the veteran Lynx that you see me riding in the streets and whatnot, that wheel is 151 volts. So this wheel, guys, is the highest voltage electric unicycle out. You see, I'm trying to wedge that selfie stick in there, show you the speed. It throws me off balance whenever I'm doing it. I'm not able to go top speed when I'm trying to get that selfie stick in there. It seriously throws the balance off a little bit. But you see about 55 going up to 56 right there. And whenever I'm just fully ripping it, got the selfie stick in front of me and I'm absolutely just on it, I'm getting up into the 60s, 60 plus miles per hour on this thing. And the one thing about this wheel, guys, that it just is, it's hard to explain unless you're riding it. You just feel this thing, it is a powerhouse. I'm going up a steady incline right here, up a canyon, and it just feels so fast. It does not feel underpowered at all. Having a 4,500 watt motor in there, guys, is what makes this thing just rip. Being 168 volts, 4,500 watt motor, and having 3,000 watt hours of battery, those specs are not even going to be on the Blitz, guys. The Blitz is the wheel that's going to be coming out next, and you see right here, man, it feels like you're flying. I mean, it feels like you were flying a fighter jet or wingsuiting when you're going this fast on one of these things. It is just so much fun. But the Blitz that's going to be coming out next, guys, you can place your pre-order for. That wheel looks very similar to the ET Max, but they're going to be trying to get the weight, or that wheel is going to be 79 pounds. This wheel that I'm riding right here is 109 pounds. So the Blitz is going to be much more lightweight and a much better wheel for most people's everyday type of riding, whether you like to ride some off-road trails, whether you like to just ride in the inner city, and much more friendly to get in and out of a vehicle. But the problem with the Blitz, though, guys, is it's not going to be a 3,000 watt hour wheel. That wheel is going to be 2,400 watt hours. So the Blitz is going to have even less battery power than the Lynx, and it's going to be 134 volts. And now the reason they had to do that is because once you start getting up into a 168 volt system like the ET Max is, you got to really increase the amount of cells you have in there. And a problem with that is if the 168 volt system is amazing on this wheel, you see that, but the reason the Blitz is not going to have it is because you'd have to increase the height of the wheel to fit more cells in there, and then it would be a heavy wheel. The weight of the whole wheel would go up. So the Blitz, guys, I think is going to be a sweet spot, though, for those people out there that want a hyper wheel. They've been looking at the Lynx, they see the ET Max, they want something that's going to be more affordable than the Lynx, more affordable than the ET Max, and lighter weight as a total package. And that's going to be the BeGoat Blitz, and let me check the price on that. I think it's going to be $3,200 for the BeGoat Blitz, guys. Yeah, you can pre-order it right now, and it's going to be $3,200 for the BeGoat Blitz, and that should be coming out, I think, in August. Yeah, so that's going to be coming out in August. If you want to place your pre-order for that, you can right below, and that's going to be kind of the between this wheel and the Lynx, with also getting the price point lower than that $4,000. So that's very nice. And the ET Max that I'm riding right now, guys, this wheel went on sale and is at $3,800 now, and you aren't going to get a wheel with this high of specs for that low of price. And the thing with the ET Max, I'm telling you guys, is it does have 3,000 watt hours of battery, and that is something I'm looking for in wheels now, man. I do notice I love having the extra headroom that having 3,000 watt hours of battery, having that or more offers me, because I'm riding in places like this that don't have a bunch of places to charge up. So I'm kind of just going out there with the battery that I have and just going for one ride. And you know, with the Lynx, I get good range out of that thing, but you cannot ride the Lynx for sustained speeds like you can this wheel and still get great battery power out of it. And this right here is a true 55 miles per hour plus sustained speed riding wheel that you can get great range out of. And that's one thing I do like about it. It is heavy, and you know, it is definitely not off-road friendly as the Lynx is, but it can be ridden off-road. You see right here, I wanted to try some single track with it, wanted to take it on some side-by-side trails, and you can definitely ride it on all this. You know, I got the street tire on it right here, and I got the pedals in the lowest position. I got a high tire PSI, and you can ride it on trails. You can definitely do it. And if you raise those pedals up, put a knobby tire on it, man, you know, you're going to have a beastly off-road machine. It's a powerhouse. I mean, if you lean too hard into this thing, it just rooster tails. You know, it really does. So I do like the ET Max, guys, but this wheel is for the absolute speed demons out there. This isn't, you know, there's no reason you should get this as a first electric unicycle. There's no reason, you know, this is literally for the people that want an absolute speed demon wheel. Not necessarily a race wheel, but just a raw, you see that, it just has raw. I'm trying to accelerate up the hill right there, and it just, you do it too hard, that thing just spins out, you know, because I got that street tire on there, obviously. But I'm telling you, if you are a street, you know, a speed demon rider, this is what you want to buy. I mean, this is it, and it's priced right. You know, they just dropped the price on it to $3,800. And if I didn't have the Lynx, and you know, I was wanting one of these new hyper wheels that are coming out, one of these extremely fast electric unicycles you see, this is definitely a win. And one thing I do love about this wheel is the fact that, right, you know, the way the pedals are set up right here, you know, I got them in the lowest setting, but they are, you can do that without any pedal lowering kit, and you can get them lower than the center point of the axle. And man, that makes, when I had somebody explain that to me about the Lynx, they're like, well, you know, the reason that the Lynx wobbles and when you're going into corners is because in the stock position with no foot, you know, lowering brackets, your pedals are higher than the axle, and so just the geometry of it is going to cause it to wobble. But this, you can see my pedals are definitely lower than the center point of the axle, which obviously isn't great for off-roading. You know, it's not going to be as high up, you know, as the Lynx pedals are stock. You can definitely raise them. You can raise them up on here. I could raise them up a good bit if I wanted to. But I'm telling you, for street riding, this thing is so much more stable. Like in your corners, when you are flying around those corners or taking a hairpin corner or anything like that, you just notice the stability just because the geometry is just better for street riding. Now, you can't argue with the fact that the Lynx being, the Lynx is like 30 pounds lighter weight than this wheel, and then the Blitz is going to be about 30 pounds lighter weight than this wheel. The Blitz is going to be a great track racing wheel, I think. I mean, at 134 volts on that wheel, we're going to have to see how it competes with the Lynx in an actual race setting. So that's going to be crazy because, like, if this is going to be B-Goat's competition to the Lynx for a race wheel, we're going to have to just see how much, you know, that little bit of voltage in there, 151 volts in the Lynx to 134 in the Blitz. I don't know, man. Like, do you think the Blitz is going to be a contender to the Lynx in those crazy like motorcycle races they're doing in Spain, where the whole entire roster is just nothing but the Leprechaun Lynx? I mean, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I think it'll definitely be. I think the Blitz will be more of definitely a race. You see, right? So one thing to note, guys, when you're riding electric unicycles on trails that get troughed out, yeah, I call it kind of troughed out, rutted out, whatever it may be. You really got to pay attention to where your pedals are, guys, because that's the worst type of trails to ride on an electric unicycle, is the ones that get that trough to them, because you can just pedal clip so easy. And I've done that so many times, so just be aware of that if you're a new rider. And again, I can raise my pedals up, but I just didn't want to, like, because I'm going right back to street riding right here. So I mainly do street riding on this wheel, but I wanted to show you, you can definitely trail ride it, and it is fun. It's a whole ton of fun to trail ride this thing. And the stock tire that comes on it, man, it really does grip well. I'm able to go really hard into corners, even on wet surfaces. Like, and dude, there's not a lot of tires out there. Wet surfaces and a lot of tires just do not mix. Like, I got, like, the tires on my little Grom, for example. As soon as you hit water with those stock tires on that thing, on my little Grom motorcycle, they just slip out instantly. And same with the stock tire that was on the Lynx, actually. So the Lynx comes with a much better tire now. The Lynx comes with that tubeless setup with a TNT tire, and that thing grips in the rain. It grips everything great. But like the first batch of the Lynx, guys, that tire was super slippery when you got it wet. It was great on everything else, but as soon as it got wet, it just couldn't hold in the corners. But this one definitely does. It grips like crazy in the corners, guys. Even running like 30 PS, I'm not putting that pressure low on this thing. I'm running it at a normal, PSI, and it grips so good, dude. I love it. One other thing to note, if you on some of the off-road sections, if you're hearing like a little bit of rattling from this thing, it's nothing mechanical on it. It's the stupid handle on the top. So the trolley handle on the top has nothing to like hold it in place. So if you're riding off-road hard, it holds in place. It's not like it's gonna come up, but it's nothing that holds it like firmly, like down in there, or like clicks into place. So it rattles around, and so that you'll definitely be hearing that. Like, I'll try to like silence some of the rattling in there, but whenever I'm riding off-road, if you hear rattling coming from this thing, it's nothing wrong with it or anything like that. It literally is just the handle on the top, and it rattles like crazy. So I should have put some like gaffer's tape or something on it. And I think this is a demo wheel, and I think that handle was a little bit messed up before I got it. And so it may just be something with this one, but if you're hearing that off-road, like just the rattling, it sounds horrible. That is just that little trolley handle on the top, and it just needs some tape or something to hold it in place. I don't know. You probably won't have that issue if you're getting this to street ride, but when you're ripping it down the trails, that thing is just clanking around. And one thing I want the people to ask themselves when they're getting one of these electric unicycles, because it's changing so much and there's so many different wheels for every type of rider out there now. There really is. There's a wheel for the speed demons, there's a wheel for complete beginners, there's wheels for the city dwellers. There's literally a wheel for every type of rider you're going to come across. And I want you to really kind of think about the type of place you live at, the type of riding you're going to be doing. There's a lot of factors that come into play, and you might, if you live somewhere where you're, for example, like going to places like this, where you're going to be out maybe at a campsite, riding off-road, maybe where you're doing a long stretch, more of like a touring type of ride, you really need to understand that like these wheels are capable of going very fast, going up to like 60 miles an hour now. You got to think about like how you're going to be riding this thing if you're going to be doing like touring type of riding. The Sherman L just came out. That's a new wheel that is made by Leprechaun as well. You can pre-order that. The Sherman L is going to be a perfect wheel for people like myself that love to do, I like to ride high speed, but that thing's going to have a ton of range in it as well. It's going to be a heavy wheel, but the range is a big thing in there, guys, and it gives you headroom when you're out in the middle of nowhere like this, or somewhere where you're riding and you're going to be going a long distance, but you also want to ride fast. And maybe you don't need the most nimble wheel in the world. Maybe you don't need something that's going to be like a jumping wheel or a racing wheel, and you can go for a more touring style wheel. Like you could get one of the big like Master Pros, or you could get a Sherman L or something like that that's going to have more range, maybe a bigger wheel, something you can just put miles on more comfortably and have more range. Now, when it comes to the ET Max, the ET Max is at a weird place because it's not a perfect racing wheel because it is heavy, but it is perfect for the people out there that want to just go and ride fast. They want to ride for a long way fast. This is just perfect for the high sustained speed rider out there, somebody that maybe lives in the suburbs, that you got to commute a long way to get to the city and you want to do it fast, or a good rider, you want to do it quickly. The only thing about this wheel that is different than the Lynx, man, really is the Lynx is just built for that race type scenario, man. You can just those tight corners, I mean, weaving and bobbing, all that type of stuff. Yeah, you can do it better on the Lynx, but this is your sustained high speed riding machine right here, and it is for top speed riding. I mean, really, this thing has everything to suit the person that wants to go the fastest. And whether you want to get this wheel, the Blitz, the Lynx, whatever you choose, guys, I think, you can't go wrong really with the Lynx. You can't go wrong with this wheel. And I think the Blitz is going to be awesome as well. I really do. I think the Blitz is going to be a sweet wheel. And I think it's going to be very similar to the Lynx while being a good bit, less in price. It's going to be $3,200 compared to the Lynx, which is $4,000. So I think it's going to be a good buy. And this is a great wheel. I really do. I love the ET Max, man. And having that 3,000 watt hours in there is nice. I'm telling you, having that extra headroom of battery power is great. If you want to pick up this wheel or any other ones, place a pre-order, use that link below. Gives me a little kickback at no extra cost to you, and I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.